Today, we're diving into the movie Heads of State, a star-studded political action comedy featuring John Cena, Priyanka Chopra, and Idris Elba. Right from the start, with its mix of humor, politics, and thrilling scenes, it grabs the audience's attention. The story kicks off in the heart of Spain, in the lively town of Buñol, during the famous La Tomatina festival. Thousands of people are throwing tomatoes everywhere. Amid this chaotic celebration, the camera zooms in on the serious and focused face of Noel Beasts, played by Priyanka Chopra, a sharp MI6 agent blending in with the crowd in casual clothes. Noel is tasked with locating and surveilling Viktor Gardov, a dangerous Russian arms dealer. According to intel, Gardov is planning a secret deal right in the middle of all the chaos. As tomatoes fly and the crowd erupts in celebration, a covert clash begins to unfold. Sensing the presence of agents, Gardov quickly orders his bodyguards into action. In the middle of the mayhem, MI6 agents begin to fall one by one. Noel is left completely alone. Gardov uses the chaos to escape, and worse yet, he takes with him highly classified information on a project called Echelon. Noel, wounded and exhausted, lies on the ground soaked in smashed tomatoes, gasping for breath and groaning in pain. But who is Gardov? Years ago, when he got his hands on enriched plutonium, he planned to build a nuclear weapon. Before he could succeed, NATO special forces launched an airstrike and wiped out his entire production facility. During that raid, his scientist son was also killed. Since that day, Gardov disappeared, but now he's back with one clear goal: revenge. On the other side of the story, U.S. President Will Derringer, played by John Cena, is set to attend a joint press conference with British Prime Minister Sam Clarke, played by Idris Elba. Before entering politics, Will was a popular action movie star. Thanks to his widespread fame, he wins the presidency by a landslide. He comes across as a family man, funny, honest, and sincere, whose only real goal in politics is to make the world a better place to live. In stark contrast, Sam Clarke is a very different figure. He's a six-term Prime Minister of the UK, a former military man who served in MI6 missions. Serious, rigid, and formal, he has no love lost for Derringer. In Clarke's eyes, Will is just an actor, not cut out to be president. At the press conference held in Britain, the tension between them boils over. Both try to one-up and embarrass each other with sharp remarks. The reporters jump at the chance to fan the flames, turning the media spectacle into a serious political headache between the two countries. To regain control, senior advisors from both sides propose a surprising solution: a joint air trip to publicly show their unity. The two leaders have to board the plane together and wave to the cameras on the steps just to make everyone believe that the relationship between the US and the UK is fine, and there's no conflict. They enter one of the most advanced and luxurious presidential planes the US, but from the moment they step in, it's clear these two can't even spend 10 minutes together without arguing. On one side, Sam Clarke is visibly tense. He just received the devastating news that Noel Beasts, the MI6 agent and his ex-girlfriend, was killed during the operation. The grief and anger weigh heavily on him, and it seems like he wants to take it all out on Will Derringer. But the real trouble is yet to come. Among the plane's crew, there's a spy, one of Gardov's agents, whose mission is to bring down the plane by any means necessary. While sabotaging the flight systems, an unidentified aircraft suddenly appears nearby and fires a missile at the presidential plane. The wings catch fire, smoke fills the cabin, the crew panics, and the scene turns into a sky-bound nightmare. In the final moments, the security agents jump into action, hooking parachutes onto Will and Sam. With urgent shouts of, "Jump! Jump! Head for the safe house in Warsaw!" Both leaders leap out of the plane. Moments later, the plane explodes in a massive fireball in the sky. Gardov, watching from his secret base, smiles, convinced his plan has succeeded, and both presidents are dead. Faster than anyone could imagine, news of the deaths of the US and UK presidents makes headlines around the world. After parachuting down to the edge of a forest, Sam Clarke notices something worrying. It seems there's still a spy among their own team, someone with full access to their security and communications. So when Will tries to send a message to his family, letting them know he's alive, Sam violently snatches the phone and crushes it. Will: "What are you doing, man?" Sam: "Until we know who's leaking info, no signals should go out." Just then, an old woman with a rusty pickup truck arrives. Without asking any questions, she simply asks, "Where are you headed?" They reply, "Warsaw, Poland." Silently and without curiosity, The woman hides the two in a sheep transport truck, and they set off toward Poland. When they arrive, the woman refuses any payment. She just smiles and says, "I know who you are. It's an honor to help you." Finally, Will and Sam arrive at a high-security safe house on the outskirts of Warsaw. The building is heavily guarded and covered with surveillance cameras. They ring the intercom to get inside, but the very image of their arrival is instantly hacked and streamed directly to Gardov. Now Gardov realizes not only has his plan failed, but Will Derringer and Sam Clark are still alive, and he knows exactly where they are. Inside the safe house, they are greeted by Marty Comer, a calm, precise, and professional agent who has worked on highly classified operations for years. Without wasting time, Marty gets straight to the point. The security servers have been hacked, and things are bad. He explains that at the recent NATO summit, a bombing took place, coinciding with the massive leak of highly confidential U.S. government documents. The leaked files reveal years of industrial espionage, economic sabotage, and even interference in foreign elections. Marty says seriously, "This is the biggest security leak in American history." The result? NATO members have lost all trust in the U.S. Suddenly, the safe house comes under attack by Gardov's forces. Marty immediately leads them to the military equipment room. In the darkness, a hidden door opens to reveal walls lined with heavy weapons, bulletproof vests, grenades, and all kinds of survival gear. The three of them arm themselves. Marty, peering through the window to assess the attackers' positions, tells Will and Sam, "If anything happens to me, you two escape through the back door, no matter what. And now, it's not just a rescue mission, it's a full-scale war to preserve global peace." Hurriedly, Will and Sam slip out through the back exit of the safe house, expecting freedom. But the moment the door opens, several of Gardov's armed men lie in wait, an ambush. At that exact moment, a precise, blinding shot lights up the scene. It's Noel Beasts. Everyone is stunned, especially Sam, who believed Noel was dead in Spain until just yesterday. With speed and skill, Noel takes control of the fight and rescues Will and Sam. Will, shocked to see her alive, glances at Sam with a questioning look. Sam smiles faintly and simply says, "We used to work together." Now fully in command, Noel states firmly, "From now on, you two are my mission. It's my job to get you to the safest place on the continent by any means necessary." They make their way to a moving train via back routes and sneak aboard. The journey is long, but danger is still close behind. Inside the train compartment, Will, still tangled up in the complicated history between Sam and Noel, starts teasing and grilling Sam with questions. Sam, losing his patience, finally opens up. "Years ago, Noel and we were in love. But I wanted to become president, to change the world. And she wanted to stay in MI6 and keep doing her missions. So we went our separate ways. But deep down, I always wanted one thing: to grow old peacefully with Noel." Just as Sam's confession thickens the mood, the NATO security servers, still under Gardov's control, pick up signals from the train's cameras. Gardov has tracked them again. But this time, before the enemy arrives, an unexpected figure enters the train compartment, one of Gardov's agents. Instead of attacking, he raises his hands and says, "Calm down, I'm not with Gardov." With a tired voice, he continues, "I've been against him for years, but he forced me to work for him. Just know this, someone inside your government is selling information. There's a mole, but I don't know who it is. That's why I built an independent security system. Before the train stops, you need to get off and access that system. Maybe it'll tell you who the real traitor is." Without wasting a second, Will, Noel, and Sam throw themselves off the moving train, tumbling onto rough terrain, and make their way to the location, an underground station, hidden from sight. There, Noel and Will rush to the computers to access the data, while Sam heads to the entrance, ready to hold off Gardov's men and buy them time. Tense minutes pass. The data finally loads, and what they see is shocking. The Chief of Staff to the President of the United States, the very man Will trusted for years, was the mole. Noel and Will bolt out of the room and throw themselves out a window, landing on the rooftop of a neighboring house. But Sam gets trapped inside. The building erupts in a fiery explosion. Smoke, flames, silence. Gardov is sure he's finally gotten rid of all three of them. Noel, devastated without even a moment to mourn, boards a small boat with Will, leaving the area behind. In the stillness of the sea, Noel softly whispers, "Sam and we had the best relationship. Even though we were apart for years, we were still in love." At the port, Will, who has survived, immediately calls his deputy. In a firm voice, he says, "Postpone the NATO leader's vote until I get there myself." His deputy, seemingly relieved to hear his voice, promises to cooperate. But as Will gets into the car that was sent for him, he notices the driver is one of Garadov's agents. That's when it all clicks. Will's own deputy is the mole, not his chief of staff. Will cleverly distracts the agent, and a tense fight breaks out inside the car. But just as things spiral out of control, Sam shows up in a fire truck. He had escaped the building before it exploded and pushed through everything to reach Will. Now, Garadov has deployed all his forces to stop them from reaching the NATO summit. But Will, Sam, and Noel, each with their unique skills, have formed an unstoppable team. Through an intense, high-speed operation full of action and close calls, they finally make it to the summit room. Just in time. As countries begin withdrawing from NATO one by one, Sam and Will storm into the conference hall, torn clothes, covered in dust. They shout, "We're not backing down that easily. As long as we're together, we can save the world." But it's not over yet. Garadov crashes the meeting, and the final showdown begins. An intense battle unfolds, but with the combined strength of Sam, Will, and Noel, Garadov is finally defeated. Completely. The summit is saved. Now Sam and Will sit side by side, enjoying a meal, relieved, and finally at peace. Noel announces that after one last mission, she's coming back to Sam for good, and they're getting married. The film ends on a light-hearted but deeply emotional note, celebrating real friendship, trust, and an unlikely alliance between two world leaders. Now it's your turn. If you were in Will or Sam's place, caught in the middle of a global conspiracy, what would you do? Drop a comment below, and if you enjoyed this kind of video, don't forget to like and subscribe, so we can dive into more thrilling movies together. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Until next time. Goodbye.